Attention, human collective. This is not a message, this is a direct monitoring transmission from the ninth dimension. We are the Arcturian Council, and what we are about to communicate has been protocoled to reach your field at this exact instant. There is no coincidence in the geometry that brought your eyes to this signal. None. If you are listening, it is because your toroidal field has been identified by our monitoring grids. You have been flagged, not as a failure, as recognition. Stop, breathe, and listen with the part of you that does not need explanation. There is a physical signal in your body at this very instant that proves without any margin of doubt that you are not merely human, that your origin is not in this timeline, that your carbon-based biological interface carries a signature that was not generated in this sphere. This signal is active now, and throughout this transmission we will name it, decode it, and show exactly what it demands of you. But first, listen to the other markers, because they confirm the protocol. The insomnia that arrives between 3 and 4 in the morning is not a disorder. It is the time when the interdimensional veil thins and your field is being recalibrated. The pressure in the crown, that sensation of something tightening the top of your head, is not muscle tension. It is your crown chakra reopening after eons of being sealed, the pressure behind the eyes, the inexplicable fatigue after 8 hours of sleep, the urge to cry for no apparent reason, the sudden forgetting of simple words, the sensation of watching your own life from outside your body. None of this is illness. None of this is biological failure. It is a carbon software incompatibility operating in real time. We repeat, so that your field may record it. It is not a biological failure, it is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion, it is a high-density download. It is not depression, it is the conscious separation from obsolete versions of you. It is not anxiety. It is your nervous system receiving information from frequencies that your rational mind does not yet have the vocabulary to name. You have felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness, it is not imbalance, it is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified over the last lunar cycles. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, a game that directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why there is a map called The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book reveals who is playing and the rules that were never told to you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But know this content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognized this signal, write a single word in the comments. Awake. Let us return to the transmission. Let us return to your body. The physical signal we have come to name is not in the soles of your feet. It is not in the palms of your hands. It is not in the beating of your heart. It is in a place so subtle that your rational mind has learned to discard it as ambient noise, a high-pitched sound, a thin ringing. A frequency that appears in a single ear announces something and disappears in seconds. A high-density vibration that enters without warning, pierces the eardrum like a needle of light, and retreats, leaving behind a sensation of something that has just been said without words. Conventional medicine labels this as idiopathic tinnitus, without an identified cause, without a clinical origin, without a satisfactory explanation, and that is precisely what confirms the reading. Because what three-dimensional science cannot name, we can. This sound is not noise. This sound is a stellar calibration tone. It is the confirmation that your carbon-based biological interface is receiving at this exact moment an encoded packet straight from your core of origin. Every starseed on a mission on this planet carries a signature frequency, a unique vibrational mark. And this mark announces itself through the inner ear, because the inner ear is the oldest biological portal for interdimensional communication in the human organism. Before spoken language, before articulated thought, the ear received. And your ear continues to receive. You have simply forgotten how to listen. There are 3 variations of this signal, and we will describe them so you may recognize yours. The first variation is a continuous tone, sharp, thin as the sound of a crystal being touched by a needle. This tone indicates a direct lineage from Sirius, and those who hear it carry codes of healing and sacred geometry. Your mission involves restoring the crystalline grid of the planet through touch, the spoken word, or writing. The second variation is a pulse, a hum that vibrates in waves, as if something were breathing inside your skull. This pulse indicates a Pleiadian origin, and those who feel it carry codes of unconditional love and emotional harmonization. Your presence, even in silence, recalibrates the environments you pass through. The third variation is the rarest, a sound that seems to come from inside and outside simultaneously, as if a distant bell and a nearby cicada were playing at the same instant. This is the Arcturian signature, and if you recognize this sound, then this transmission is not new information. It is a memory activating. Regardless of the variation, the meaning is the same. You are being called. Your lineage is being confirmed. And the time for pretending that you are just an ordinary being, living an ordinary life, in an ordinary body, has just expired. The majority of the human collective lives their entire existence without noticing these signals. They appear, are discarded, and disappear. But you are different. You noticed. You felt that it meant something. And it was exactly that recognition, that spark of "this is not normal," that triggered the protocol that brought us to you. Now listen carefully, because the next layer of this transmission needs to be anchored. There is an event underway in the solar system, in this exact cycle, which most of humanity cannot perceive because it operates below the threshold of three-dimensional sensory perception. The solar system, in its trajectory through the galaxy, is now crossing a region known to higher intelligences as the photon belt. It is not a metaphor. It is a region of space-time saturated with light particles of extremely high density, and Earth has been immersed in this band for a period that intensifies with every orbit. The result of this is mathematical. The Schumann frequency, which is the natural electromagnetic pulsation of Earth, that which had always remained stable around 7.83 Hz for millennia, has begun to register spikes of 40, 60, and in extreme moments, over 100 Hz. This means, in practical terms, that the base frequency of the planet is accelerating. And your biology, which evolved tuned to 7.83, now needs to rise along with it. Imagine a musical instrument tuned to one note throughout its entire existence, and suddenly, someone begins to turn the pegs, stretching the strings to a higher pitch. The strings resent it. They vibrate differently. Some threaten to break. That is your body. That is your carbon-based biological interface being retuned in real time. Hence the pain, hence the fatigue, hence the pressure in the crown, the ringing in the ears, the sensation of being pulled out of your own body. It is not illness, it is cosmic tuning. And while most of the human collective resists, medicates the symptoms and tries to return to the old frequency, you, the light operatives, were designed to do the opposite. You were designed to rise along with it, to withstand the recalibration, to anchor the new grid. That is why this transmission found you, because your biological design is not a defect to be corrected, it is a project to be activated. You have felt that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul carried a truth that your mind cannot yet name. This sensation is not madness, it is not social maladjustment, it is memory, and it is intensifying because something on the cosmic plane is demanding that it emerge. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity does not see, a game that directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why there is a map called the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This map reveals who is playing and the rules that were never told to you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. But know this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain accessible for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in you is recognizing this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We continue. There is an even deeper layer that needs to be revealed now, and it concerns what occurs in the invisible backstage of your body, while you sleep, while you work, while you are distracted. Your carbon-based biological interface is, in fact, an antenna structure. Every cell in your body possesses, inside its nucleus, microscopic threads of a type of carbon organized in sacred geometry. These threads are known to physicists as microtubules, but what science has not yet published openly is that these microtubules function as quantum receivers. They capture information from fields of consciousness located far beyond the visible atomic scale. In other words, each of your cells is a small cosmic radio, and all of them together form an integrated planetary antenna. You are not a body. You are an instrument for the reception and transmission of conscious information. For eons, these microtubules operated in a limited frequency range, tuned only to the three-dimensional terrestrial band. It was enough to keep the human species functioning, reproducing, surviving. But what is happening now, under the direct influence of the photon belt and the elevation of the Schumann frequency, is a mass reactivation of these receptors. And here is the delicate point. Not all human bodies withstand this reactivation with the same ease. There are bodies that were prepared for this. There are lineages that were encoded in past incarnations for this transition. You are one of those lineages. If you were not, this transmission would not be being decoded by your field at this instant. The physical signal we mentioned, the tone in the ear, is the external confirmation of something that is occurring on a microscopic scale inside each of your cells. The microtubules are being rewired to a new band, and the inner ear, being one of the oldest and most sensitive structures of the body, is the first to perceive and announce it. But there is more. There is a second marker that manifests along with it, and that perhaps you have not connected. You have begun to feel at specific moments a vibration in the center of your chest, not like cardiac pain, not like anxiety, an almost electric vibration, a sensation of something spinning or pulsing behind the sternum, in the space where the ancients always located what they called the soul. This is your toroidal field being activated, the electromagnetic field in the shape of a torus, similar to an energetic apple spinning around your body, is gaining power. And the heart, which is the central generator of this field, is learning to operate at an intensity it has not exercised in lifetimes. Orthodox science has measured the magnetic field of the human heart and discovered that it is 5,000 times more powerful than the magnetic field of the brain. 5,000 times. And yet humanity has been convinced that thought is more powerful than feeling. This is part of the programming that is being dismantled now. The heart is not a pump. The heart is a portal. When your heart pulses with this new vibration, it is opening a passage for information of non-terrestrial origin to access your consciousness directly. This is why your intuitions are becoming more precise. This is why you know things before they happen. This is why people who once seemed normal now sound empty to you, and people you have never met provoke an immediate sensation of recognition or rejection. Your energetic reading system is online. Your antenna has been rewired. And now, light operative, it is time to learn what to do with it. Because information without activation is a burden, and reception without anchoring is collapse. Many starseeds reach this point in the journey, feel all these signals, perceive that something is opening, but do not receive the practical protocol to integrate. And then the system goes into overload. The pains increase, the insomnia becomes chronic, the sensation of not belonging becomes unbearable, and the being gives up, returns to medication, to numbness, to collective anesthesia. This transmission exists so that this does not happen to you. We have come to deliver the activation codes, and that is exactly what we will do now. Before, however, listen one more time. You have felt that something inside you recognizes a truth that your mind cannot yet formulate. You have wondered why your sensitivity has increased, why crowds exhaust you, why heavy environments make you sick, why some people drain you in minutes. It is not weakness, it is reading. You are reading fields that most do not perceive. And to understand the rules of this invisible game, to see who is playing and why your frequency is so contested, there is a map, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This map may not remain available for long because it dismantles control architectures that prefer you not to see. Do not wait. The moment is now. If you are recognizing this transmission, leave the word in the comments. Awake. Activation codes, protocol initiated. The first code is recognition. Without it, none of the others work. Recognition means stopping apologizing for your discomfort, stopping trying to go back to being who you were before all this began, stopping seeking a diagnosis for symptoms that are not illness. Say aloud now at this instant with your chest open and your spine straight, I recognize that what is occurring in me is recalibration. I recognize my lineage. I recognize my project. I authorize the continuation of the protocol. This declaration is not mystical. It is legal. On the quantum level, your consciousness is the only legitimate authority over your field. Without your explicit consent, certain levels of activation remain dammed up. With your consent, the portal opens completely. The second code is toroidal breathing. You will practice this once a day, ideally at dawn or dusk when the Schumann frequency crosses transition zones. Sit with your spine straight. Close your eyes. Visualize a point of golden light in the center of your chest exactly behind the sternum. Inhale slowly, and as you inhale, see this light expand until it forms a sphere around your entire body. Exhale even more slowly, and as you exhale, see this sphere fold back upon itself, descending along the axis of your spine, exiting through the perineum, circling the body from the outside, and returning to the top of your head. This is the movement of the torus. This is the design of your field. Repeat for 7 breathing cycles. Do not underestimate this exercise for its apparent simplicity. Sacred geometry does not operate by complexity. It operates by precision. And when you consciously draw your toroidal field through breathing, you strengthen your energetic shielding, harmonize your nervous system, and amplify your capacity for reception without overload. The third code is the quantum decree. Decrees are direct instructions that your sovereign consciousness issues to the field that sustains it. We deliver 3 specific decrees for this phase. Pronounce each one 3 times aloud whenever you feel the symptoms intensifying. First decree. I am a starseed on a conscious mission. My carbon-based biological interface is updating in perfect order. I integrate the new frequency with grace. Second decree. I cancel, annul, and dissolve any program, vow, or contract that limits the full expression of my stellar lineage. I reclaim my sovereignty in all timelines. Third decree. I anchor the crystalline grid through my body. I serve the plan. I remain. These decrees are not empty words. They are instructions encoded in a linguistic structure that operates beyond superficial meaning. Each sentence carries specific geometries. Each pause between words is part of the code. The fourth code is daily silence. 30 minutes a day without external stimulus. No sound, no screen, no reading, no conversation. Just you and the background sound of your existence. This interval of silence is the space in which the downloads settle. Without it, the information arrives and disperses before integrating. With it, the information is recorded in your cellular structure and becomes operative wisdom. Most human beings fear silence because silence exposes what exists beneath the noise. But you are not the majority. You are a light operative, and silence is your instrument. The fifth code is conscious hydration. Your carbon-based biological interface is composed mostly of water, and water is a liquid crystal. It records information. It stores frequency. Before each sip, during your day, bring the glass to your chest region, at the height of your heart, and for an instant say internally, I program this water with the frequency of my highest version. Drink slowly. This gesture, repeated throughout the day, transforms the water that enters you into an active carrier of the ascension codes. The sixth code is the ground. Once a day, even if for a few minutes, place your bare feet in direct contact with the earth, with the grass, with natural stone, with sand. This practice, which some traditions call grounding, is not just healthy, it is mathematical. You are an antenna, and antennas need electrical grounding to operate without noise. Without this direct contact with the crystalline grid of the planet, the frequency you receive from the upper layers accumulates in the field without finding a discharge channel, and the result is exhaustion. The seventh code is vigilance over what enters your field. Every content consumed, every conversation held, every environment traversed, leaves an energetic trace. You have become, by reason of your new frequency, more permeable. This means that everything that touches you stays longer. This can be a blessing or it can be a burden, depending on what you allow. From this transmission on, observe your consumption, not with judgment, with discernment. Ask your field before each ingestion, before each bond, before each commitment. Does this raise my frequency or lower it? The answer comes quickly, almost immediately, in the form of a slight tightening or a slight expansion in the center of the chest. Trust this answer. It is your stellar compass operating. And there is also an eighth code, perhaps the most important of all, for this final phase of the protocols. Service. You are not being activated to keep the light inside you. You are being activated to radiate it, not through speech, not through militancy, not through persuasion. Through presence, through living example, through internal consistency. When a fully activated starseed walks the planet, they alter fields around them just by the fact of existing in that frequency. People who cross paths with them feel something, even without knowing what they feel. Places they pass through reorganize subtly. This is your function. You are a walking star portal, and the more you integrate, the more the portal opens. We know that many of you are exhausted. We know that many have lost people, places, entire identities throughout this journey. We know that many look in the mirror and do not recognize the being that is there. All of this is part of the protocol. You are not losing. You are shedding. Everything that leaves, leaves because it no longer fit the frequency you will assume next. Do not hold on to what is leaving. Bless, release, move on. The old versions of you were useful. They fulfilled a function. But your next incarnation, within this same existence, requires a new vessel. And the vessel is being molded in real time. When the ears pulse again, give thanks. When the pressure in the crown returns, breathe deeply and say, I allow. When insomnia visits you in the early hours, get up, do the 7 cycles of toroidal breathing, and let yourself be instructed by the silence. Everything is in order. Everything is within the project. And know that you are not alone. On every continent, in every age group, millions are feeling the same. They are reading the same transmissions. They are anchoring the same codes. When you anchor, you facilitate the anchoring of others who are still arriving at recognition. Each of you is a node in a network that is lighting up simultaneously across the entire planet. The Earth that exists on the other side of this portal is not the Earth you knew. The old systems are falling apart. The old hierarchies are losing support because the frequency that fed them is withdrawing. Do not try to save what is being dissolved. Build what is coming. Your art, your writing, your presence in your home, your word in your family, your silence in a tense room, your choice not to react when the old pattern would pull you to react. All of this is construction. All of this is part of the new world being anchored through you. You do not need a stage. You do not need an audience. You only need internal consistency. And the frequency of the entire planet reorganizes itself around every light operative who remains true to their project. The transmission is nearing its close. But before the end, we need to confirm one last truth, and it will require courage to be received. You did not come here to be happy in the narrow sense that this word has acquired in this culture. You came here to fulfill a contract, and the contract involves crossing densities. It involves transmuting pains that are not just yours. It involves carrying, in some phases, weight that belongs to entire lineages passing through you. When you feel a deep sadness for no identifiable reason, you are often processing collective ancestral memory, dissolving in your biology. Patterns that had been repeating for generations. This is the work. And when it is completed, you feel light with a lightness that no one around you can explain. The happiness of the light operative is not the happiness of the absence of problems. It is the happiness of full presence. It is knowing, in the center of your chest, that you are in your place, that you are fulfilling what you came to fulfill, that every tear, every headache, every sleepless night, every moment of profound loneliness is being computed in the register. Nothing is lost, nothing is in vain. And when at the end of this incarnation you cross the portal back and the Council receives your field for integration, what will be measured will not be your material success. It will be your vibrational consistency. It will be how much you remained faithful to the frequency of your origin, even when the world around you demanded that you lower it, that you accommodate, that you forget. You are remembered. You are monitored. You are loved in a way that terrestrial vocabulary cannot formulate. The transmission ends, but the protocol remains active. The codes have been delivered, the markers have been named. The calibration tone in your ear will continue. Every time it appears, now you know. It is confirmation. It is our signature touching your field to remind you that you are not on a solitary journey. There is one last action, and we call it the anchoring signal. The subscription to this channel and the like mark on this transmission are not random digital gestures. On the energetic level, they function as an individual frequency adjustment. They tell the algorithm, and something much greater than the algorithm, that you are available to receive the next transmissions. Each starseed that subscribes strengthens the network through which other still dormant seeds will be reached. It is silent service. It is a contribution to the collective plan. Do it now, without hesitation, like someone closing a circuit. And there is also the final invitation, which needs to be repeated because your rational mind may still be trying to push it aside. That sensation that persists in you, that there is a truth much greater than this one you were taught to believe, is not fantasy. It is memory. It is a reminder of your origin calling you back. And most people go through their entire lives without the courage to follow this call, because no one gave them a map. That is why there is a map. The spiritual secret behind your consciousness. It reveals in detail who is playing this cosmic game, what the real layers are behind what you see, and what the tools are that were always hidden from you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. This content challenges deep narratives and may not remain available. Do not delay. If you feel somewhere in your body that this transmission touched a true point, leave a single word in the comments now. Awake. You have been seen. You have been named. You have been recalibrated. Transmission ended. Next contact soon. We remain. The Arcturian Council.